Steamboat Bill Jr., which
Uh-huh.
is another very famous movie from this year. Funny that they both were like, "Hey, that Steamboat Bill song, great. Let's make a movie about that."
I had kind of assumed that Steamboat Willie was a reference to the Buster Keaton movie rather
It
than a kind
might
of
be, but
yeah.
they don't really have a whole lot in common other
No,
than they
a
both are
steamboat.
about steamboats and there's a mean captain.
Yeah.
Um, that's about it. Like, it's not really a parody of Steamboat Bill Jr. It was released second, but I definitely get the sense they're both referencing the same song.
hmm And that was like a thing back then where songs could become popular via sheet music.
Right.
Did you
uh,
get that new sheet that just dropped?
yeah. But this is one of Buster Keaton's most famous movies. I'd never seen this one.
Yeah, same.
I mean, this one has arguably his most famous stunt in it.
Yep, this is the movie with the iconic facade of the house falling down with a hole in it, and Buster Keaton stands in a hole. Stands exactly where the hole is, so that it falls down around him.
Even though he's already done this at least twice in other movies, which I think we talked about in the 1 week episode.
Right.
Because this gag is also in 1 week. It's just smaller. Um, it's definitely the most impressive version of it because he used like a real house facade that weighed like several tons, I think, and probably would have killed him had it hit him. He had like only a couple inches like around him on around his mark. Like he had to be exactly on his mark, otherwise this enormous side of a house would have fallen on him. There's a kind of like I think some people at the time theorized he might have been suicidal, and that's why he was like, "Yeah, drop a house on me. I don't care." But it's like I don't know. That doesn't really square with how Buster Keaton actually operated as a filmmaker. Like, if he was gonna kill himself, he could have. Like the amount of crazy stuff that he does, and also just like I think he did it like in the middle of production, and it's like no, he would have done that at the end. He would have gotten the movie in the can
He's a
first.
consummate professional. He would kill
Yes.
himself once the movie's done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Buster Keaton was definitely prone to depression and alcoholism and all those things, but yeah,
But he
I
was
don't know if
also
I
like
I don't know
just
if I buy that.
generally a daredevil. Like he
Yeah,
was he was generally a
he almost
guy
kills
who's
himself
like
in every movie we've been
yeah.
talking about.
It's the only way for him to feel alive. That is during the climax of the movie, which is super bombastic, but we should give like a general idea of what's going on in this movie. Um, it's kind of a it's kind of a combination of the general Buster Keaton boy meets girl plot with the Laurel and Hardy putting pants on Philip in a way.
It is. It's funny you mentioned that. I was reminded of an even older movie, Algie the Miner, which I think might have been an Elise D
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
which
I was
is
thinking that
like
one too.
city boy goes to the country and doesn't know what things are.
It's very much also like this. It felt like queer coding in a lot of ways in this movie.
Kind of,
Uh,
yeah. At
it's like
least with
he
like his dress, the way that he's perceived, I think for sure.
the pencil. He's got a pencil mustache. So he's in the South. He's going to college in Boston, and he comes down to meet his dad, who he doesn't know very well, Steamboat Bill, and
Senior.
Steamboat Bill Senior, and so he's on the steamboat Stonewall Jackson, which is another case of Buster Keaton, maybe a little callously invoking the Confederacy.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think what it's meant to be here is this sort of, oh, he's like, this is where real men are, salt of the
Yeah.
earth kind of thing.
Well, so Steamboat Bill Senior has the Stonewall Jackson, which is the sort of like old, slightly run down steamboat, and there's the new, fancier, more expensive steamboat that just rolled into town,
hmm
owned by the King, as he's known, who like owns the whole town seemingly. And so it's sort of the underdog steamboat.
hmm
And so then Buster shows up as Steamboat Bill Jr. and he's they go to the train station to pick him up, and they're like, "Oh, how are we gonna know who he is?" And he's supposed to have a flower on his lapel,
a white carnation.
and we see everyone getting off the train. They can't see him, and then the train pulls out of the station again, and he's on the other side of the platform where you're not supposed to get off the train.
Right.
Which
Assumedly,
is
because he's so dumb that he
yeah,
didn't get off the
which
off
is a
the thing.
great reveal. Where like the train moves away, and you see this weirdo standing on the other side of the tracks.
Yeah. And yeah,
Um,
pencil mustache, beret, and ukulele,
yeah,
uh, which signal him as an effete northerner.
yes, pretty much. A city boy, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of that in silent film of like the city versus the country kind of, and like
Yeah.
real people live in the dirt and live in the country, and then it's like all those city people and their fancy hats. I don't know, I just find that to be an oddly sort of recurring thing in a lot of silent movies.
Yeah. And you speak of the hats because one of the first things that his dad does, he's like, we got to shave that mustache off first off, and then
Yeah.
we've got to get you a less gay hat, basically. So they have this extended sequence of Junior trying on dozens of hats, trying to.
Which I thought was going to end with him getting his like classic Buster Keaton pork pie hat.
Yeah.
But instead they hand that to him like in the middle, and he's like, get that out of here. I don't want to see that hat.
That's a really interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that, but it's interesting.
It's a very like self-conscious joke
yeah.
of like, we know what Buster Keaton's hat is, right? And then to like acknowledge that and make a joke out of it, I think is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, especially because they have like done previous movies where
his hat gets squashed or something and it turns into his pork pie hat.
Yeah, or like he very specifically wants that hat, and this one is like, get it away from me. Yeah,
which is a good gag, and it's like acknowledging kind of his iconography almost. And then there's a bunch of other hat gags, which Buster Keaton is very good at, just trying on hats and making it funny.
Yeah. And so once all that happens, he runs into a lady he knows.
From
She's
college.
like from college, and she's like, "What are you doing down here?" And he's like, "My
Not
dad's
from the
here."
not from the movie College.
No,
but
from Harvard or wherever he is.
Yeah.
Is Harvard in Jersey? What's the one in Massachusetts?
Harvard.
Is it Harvard.
Harvard.
Oh, Harvard. Yeah, that's right. So it turns out that the girl he fancies is the daughter of the rival boatman. So we got a bit of
steamboat captain,
Romeo and Juliet kind of situation.
Boat-crossed lovers.
Oh my god, it's a bit of a love boat. And so there's some courting hijinks, and the dads don't want them to have anything to do with each other. Basically,
there's a lot of boat jokes and a lot of courting jokes, often at the same time. There's a really great bit where, after his sort of makeover, Buster shows up in like his captain's uniform, which is like the closest they can get him to wearing like normal boat clothes.
Yeah,
is this like ridiculous like naval uniform. That he's like strutting around in to look cool, and there's just a really long extended scene of him trying to look really cool and impressive and like tripping over stuff and falling, and it's so good. It's like the perfect example of Buster Keaton being given just like a floor to work with and making a bunch of jokes that are all very funny.
Yeah, and some of this stuff like really shows off his athleticism too, in like subtle ways of just like how he's pulling off these stunts.
He tries to sneak out of one boat into the other boat, and there's so much hijinks that comes out of that.
Yeah, especially in particular one part where he's trying to like go on a plank from one boat to the other, which feels. I mean, we keep saying this like that Buster Keaton is the predecessor of Looney Tunes, but it feels very Looney Tunes. There's a lot of plank stuff in Looney Tunes.
Never seen more planks than in Looney Tunes.
A lot of plank work.
I mean, hey, that might have been a whole vaudeville act. Like, I'm a plank guy. I bring my plank on the train with me wherever I go. I mean, Buster Keaton's dad, Joe Keaton, was a table act guy, where he just had a table that he did jokes with. So
So his job was tables.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Through various hijinks, Steamboat Bill Sr. is arrested. He goes to jail, and there's a great extended section in the middle of the movie where Buster is trying to break his dad out of jail with a loaf of bread that he's snuck tools into. And he's like trying to show his dad that, because his dad doesn't want anything to do with him. He's like, come on, like, take this bread I made for you. And he's like, I don't want your bread. Like, get out of here. Let me be in jail in peace. And he has to keep, like, hinting. It's like, no, like, I really think you should take the bread. Until he opens up the bread and shows that there's a bunch of tools inside.
and the sheriff is just none the wiser
Yeah.
up until it gets extremely obvious that there are
Right,
tools in the
until
bread.
he tries to hand the bread over to his dad, and then all the tools spill out the back of the bread in comic fashion. And he said, "Oh, there's a great line, which is like, that must have happened when the dough fell into the tool chest."
Yeah,
Because that explains it.
yeah, that's a great. I feel like a surreal joke.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I baked tools into my bread accidentally.
Accidentally, yeah. I mean, at that point, what other excuse do you have? But so he breaks the dad gets out of prison. Buster ends up in prison, but then a hurricane strikes the town, and we get our big finale.
Yeah.
Like most Buster Keaton movies, the last like 15 minutes of this movie are just like nonstop wild stunts and gags, and it's like, I do feel like it's a typical thing for him where it's like, all right, we had like a normal comedy movie with like a bunch of funny stuff in it, and then the last 15 minutes are just absolute bananas. And are usually my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty balls to the wall, this one.
Yeah. And this one might take the cake in terms of like how wild it gets. Because I mean, it has like one of his biggest stunts, the like, the wall falling over around him. It has the whole thing of like he's in a hospital bed that's getting blown through the town by the wind. There's all just the
after
wind
the entire like the entire building lifts off of the floor where his hospital bed
exactly
is. There is so much destruction in this part.
They basically built a town for this movie and then destroyed it, which is one of my favorite very specific subgenres of movie, which is we built a town and we're going to blow it up on screen. It's great. Paint Your Wagon is another one of those.
The other kind of very well-known iconic bit from this part is when he's kind of facing into the wind, and the super super strong wind, and so he's leaning forward into the wind and trying to like push through it or walk toward it, and he's effectively like not moonwalking, the thing that Michael Jackson does.
That's moonwalking.
No, moonwalk, not the moonwalk though. The thing where Michael Jackson leans really far down.
I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the name.
Yeah, they had massive propellers, I'm pretty sure, just like blowing wind at him, and he
must have been like really massive.
Yeah, no, it was like super massive and dangerous. Every stunt in this is crazy dangerous, but
I mean, because you don't just see wind in the part where like he is, or like the certain thing is. You see wind all over the place, like things blowing in every direction very forcefully.
Yeah. There's debris, there's dirt, there's there's a bit where he climbs a tree and the tree gets ripped out of the ground and like flies through the air
while he's clinging to it. Yeah,
while he's like holding on to it. It's nuts. So it's great.
Yeah.
And then he saves the other boat captain and the girl, and everyone is happy.
And then everyone respects him.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a little worried that this movie, see, like at the beginning of the movie with this whole like, he's a wimpy northerner and he should be a strong Confederate, right? And then like I was thinking like, oh, I hope this movie like doesn't kind of end with him learning that he needs to be traditionally masculine or whatever, or like I was thinking it could either end that way or it could end in a way where it was kind of legitimizing the validity of his way of being before, and I think the movie kind of threads the needle between the two.
Yeah,
He like stays who he is, but he kind of learns to be a little tougher and earns people's respect anyway.
yeah.
So
I liked the ending of this movie a lot more than the general, which is basically what the first thing you described, which is like he like learns to be like a tough soldier man, and I'm just like, ah, gross, boring, don't like it.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas this, yeah, it's sort of like he sort of like he is able to like drive the boat, but he drives the boat in like his own way because he like ties rope to everything so he can control it all from one spot. And it's like
he uses his
he
college brain.
yeah, exactly. Like he does sort of he like solves all these problems in a way that other people wouldn't, which is yeah, it's just a good it's a better character arc than the general, I think.
Yeah.